We have the pleasure now of being joined by Ken Gerasimovich, who is a shareholder with Greenberg Traurig. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Claudia.
Great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Let's talk a little bit about your company and specifically what you do.
Okay, I'm a mergers and acquisitions attorney at Greenberg Traurig. We're an international law firm. We have offices in upwards of 29 cities in the United States and overseas as well, in Europe and in Asia and in Israel and in Latin America and Mexico City specifically. I focus primarily on mergers and acquisitions, public and private, joint venture work, some real estate joint venture work as well.
You took part in a roundtable earlier today. What specifically did you want to get across? What was your point that you really wanted everyone to know?
Well, the panel was about international cross-border M&A, and what we're talking about is it continues. It's some people say it's growing. I guess the statistics say it's a growing market, and I think the trends are growing because I think money is starting to finally free up. People are willing to take more risks, and I think there's always been a lot of money out there, but just people weren't investing it because they were not willing to part with it. And investment, people always say that deals are hard to find, so people are finding better deals and working to go overseas. And the U.S. economy improving also makes the U.S. a desirable target. So you see a lot of companies coming in. The biggest example right now is China buying the Waldorf Astoria. That's a huge multi-billion deal that it came in to buy a hotel. So there's a lot of investment into the U.S. that you'll see a lot from overseas. So
would you agree with some recent reports that have said that cross-border M&A is on track for a record year?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I haven't studied that, but it feels like it is because there's just you just keep reading over and over again the number of transactions that are being made. I just read recently that China is buying the largest dairy farm in Australia, for example. It's another not U.S. cross-border, but still cross-border, China into Australia. So you see that a lot of growing trends and a lot of activity going on.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of trends and activities. So what would you say really is behind the surges when we do see surges?
Again, I think the improving economy worldwide, especially the U.S. is improving economy. Australia's economy is also improving, and China is looking to invest as well. And there's tons of money in China to invest, and people are, and also there's money to be invested in China as well. It's so long as the money in the economy improves, people need to grow and want to grow their businesses. And as long as the U.S. remains attractive, there'll be a lot of overseas investments into the U.S. And the U.S. is still the most attractive investment.
So you see the surge then continue in these emerging markets?
Yeah, for now. Let's hope. Right?
Well, that's good news.
Let's hope.
Okay. So M&A related antitrust regulations really differ according to each national jurisdiction, of course.
Right.
So how will the lack of uniformity impact cross-border M&A volume going forward?
It doesn't impact the volume so much as the difficulties of doing deals. One of the reasons it's easier to do a deal in the U.S., for example, is our antitrust regulatory scheme is well established and people know how to work it. Whereas in other countries, it's not so well established and it's a lot of red tape to cut through. Fortunately, if you hire a law firm like Greenberg Traurig, where we have expertise in the various countries, we're able to figure out each of the laws. You just need a good lawyer in each country that you're investing in, and they're usually able to get through. It just costs money. It's the cost of doing business, basically, or the cost of doing a deal. It doesn't slow down. I've never seen an antitrust slow down a deal getting done if there were no antitrust issues. It's just a matter of getting the filings done and knowing how to do it.
Well, and that's the thing, with the laws being so very different in every country, and you mentioned you just have to have a really informed lawyer. I mean, what are the mistakes that people make not doing that?
Well, you can end up being forced to diversify what you bought. I mean, we're on a deal now where we've got to get approval in Mexico, South Africa, and Brazil. And the filings were made just recently, and it was difficult because you had to get the local attorneys involved. You had to get them going. Now, you think about it, you've got Mexico, South Africa, and Brazil, completely different regimens, right. And you've got to have people locally knowing how to handle each regimen. And if you don't get it right, it's not going to blow the deal up per se, but if you don't get it right, maybe that one country won't be able to come over, or the authorities will stop that. And that actually could stop a deal if it's an important country.
A lot of interesting information.
Right.
Thank you so much for being with us on M&A TV.
Thank you very much.